by which the Polish government recognized the basic right of its people to form free trade unions and to strike. The tragic events now occurring in Poland almost 2 years to the day after the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan have been precipitated by public and secret pressure from the Soviet Union. It is no coincidence that Soviet Marshal Kulikov, chief of the Warsaw Pact forces, and other senior Red Army officers were in Poland while these outrages were being initiated. And it is no coincidence that the martial law proclamations imposed in December by the Polish government were being printed in the Soviet Union in September. The target of this depression is the Solidarity movement. But in attacking Solidarity, its enemies attack an entire people. 10 million of Poland's 36 million citizens are members of Solidarity. Taken together with their families, they account for the overwhelming majority of the Polish nation. By persecuting Solidarity, the Polish government wages war against its own people. I urge the Polish government and its allies to consider the consequences of their actions. How can they possibly justify using naked force to crush a people who ask for nothing more than the right to lead their own lives in freedom and dignity? Brute force may intimidate, but it cannot form the basis of an enduring society, and the ailing Polish economy cannot be rebuilt with terror tactics. Poland needs cooperation between its government and its people, not military oppression. If the Polish government will honor the commitments it has made to basic human rights in documents like the Gdansk Agreement, we in America will gladly do our share to help the shattered Polish economy, just as we helped the countries of Europe after both world wars. It's ironic that we offered, and Poland expressed interest in accepting our help after World War II. The Soviet Union intervened then and refused to allow such help to Poland. But if the forces of tyranny in Poland and those who incite them from without do not relent, they should prepare themselves for serious consequences. Already, throughout the free world, citizens have publicly demonstrated their support for the Polish people. Our government and those of our allies have expressed moral revulsion at the police state tactics of Poland's oppressors. The Church has also spoken out in spite of threats and intimidation. But our reaction cannot stop there. I want emphatically to state tonight that if the outrages in Poland do not cease, we cannot and will not conduct business as usual with the perpetrators and those who aid and abet them. Make no mistake, their crime will cost them dearly in their future dealings with America and free peoples everywhere. I do not make this statement lightly or without serious reflection. We have been measured and deliberate in our reaction to the tragic events in Poland. We have not acted in haste, and the steps I will outline tonight and others we may take in the days ahead are firm, just, and reasonable. In order to aid the suffering Polish people during this critical period, we will continue the shipment of food through private humanitarian channels, but only so long as we know that the Polish people themselves receive the food. The neighboring country of Austria has opened her doors to refugees from Poland. I have therefore directed that American assistance, including supplies of basic foodstuffs, be offered to aid the Austrians in providing for these refugees. But to underscore our fundamental opposition to the repressive actions taken by the Polish government against its own people, the administration has suspended all government-sponsored shipments of agricultural and dairy products to the Polish government. This suspension will remain in force until absolute assurances are received that distribution of these products is monitored and guaranteed by independent agencies. We must be sure that every bit of food provided by America goes to the Polish people, not to their oppressors. The United States is taking immediate action to suspend major elements of our economic relationships with the Polish government. We have halted the renewal of the Export-Import Bank's line of export credit insurance to the Polish government. We will suspend Polish civil aviation privileges in the United States. We are suspending the right of Poland's fishing fleet to operate in American waters. And we're proposing to our allies the further restriction of high-technology exports to Poland. These actions are not directed against the Polish people. They are a warning to the government of Poland that free men cannot and will not stand idly by in the face of brutal repression. To underscore this point, I've written a letter to General Jaruzelski, head of the Polish government. In it, I outlined the steps we're taking and warned of the serious consequences if the Polish government continues to use violence against its populace. I've urged him to free those in arbitrary detention, to lift martial law, and to restore the internationally recognized rights of the Polish people to free speech and association. The Soviet Union, through its threats and pressures, deserves a major share of blame for the developments in Poland. So I have also sent a letter to President Brezhnev, urging him to permit the restoration of basic human rights in Poland provided for in the Helsinki Final Act. In it, I informed him that if this repression continues, the United States will have no choice but to take further concrete political and economic measures affecting our relationship. When 19th century Polish patriots rose against foreign oppressors, their rallying cry was, "For our freedom and yours." Well, that motto still rings true in our time. There is a spirit of solidarity abroad in the world tonight that no physical force can crush. It crosses national boundaries and enters into the hearts of men and women everywhere. In factories, farms, and schools, in cities and towns around the globe, we, the people of the free world, stand as one with our Polish brothers and sisters. Their cause is ours, and our prayers and hopes go out to them this Christmas. Yesterday, I met in this very room with Romuald Spasowski, the distinguished former Polish ambassador who has sought asylum in our country in protest to the suppression of his native land. He told me that one of the ways the Polish people have demonstrated their solidarity in the face of martial law is by placing lighted candles in their windows to show that the light of liberty still glows in their hearts. Ambassador Spasowski requested that on Christmas Eve, a lighted candle will burn in the White House window as a small but certain beacon of our solidarity with the Polish people. I urge all of you to do the same tomorrow night, on Christmas Eve, as a personal statement of your commitment to the steps we're taking to support the brave people of Poland in their time of troubles. Once, earlier in this century, an evil influence threatened that the lights were going out all over the world. Let the light of millions of candles in American homes give notice that the light of freedom is not going to be extinguished. We're blessed with a freedom and abundance denied to so many. Let those candles remind us that these blessings bring with them a solemn obligation, an obligation to the God who guides us, an obligation to the heritage of liberty and dignity handed down to us by our forefathers, and an obligation to the children of the world, whose future will be shaped by the way we live our lives today. Christmas means so much because of one special child, but Christmas also reminds us that all children are special, that they are gifts from God, gifts beyond price that mean more than any presents money can buy. In their love and laughter, in our hopes for their future, lies the true meaning of Christmas. So, in a spirit of gratitude for what we've been able to achieve together over the past year, and looking forward to all that we hope to achieve together in the years ahead, Nancy and I want to wish you all the best of holiday seasons. As Charles Dickens, whom I quoted a few moments ago, said so well in A Christmas Carol, God bless us, everyone.
Slaughtered millions of people. I'd also like to add that,
of course, when we have military operations, we're slaughtering millions of innocent people. It's never lost to the enemy what they do and their actions, including hanging homosexuals, and all these freedom and peace-loving people in the entire Ron Paul crowd, which loves gay marriage as long as it's a states' rights issue, have no problem with Iran hanging homosexuals in public. That's fine. Their murder is fine.
people who think that Iran is a threat to Israel because of their nuclear program should consider the fact that...
What? What should we consider the fact that we're going to have some kind of mutual assured destruction? That means anything to these people? You're going to put them in the mindset of the Russians and the Soviets, who did not operate from a book of warfare, who do not have a history of suicidal jihad like the Japanese in World War II? Where is your sense of history?
Muslims regard Israel as a holy land. And
how do the Muslims regard Israel as the Holy Land? What happened to Mecca and Medina?
I do not think that they would use nuclear weapons on an area that they regard as Holy Land.
Really? Why don't you tell that to the Palestinians? Have the Palestinians stopped their bombing due to the fact that they view Israel as a Holy Land?
Belonging to the Palestinian Muslim.
You're out of your mind!
So I'd like to use this opportunity to explain again that I believe in a truly constitutional foreign policy, one that was advocated by our founders.
Really? So the founders have a history of non-interventionism. Let me just add a video to the bottom of this, which is a 5-part series, as to how much we have intervened in the rest of the world regarding our history. As even Pat Buchanan has noted, this phallus notion that we've never been around the world and we've only done it on the need of our own interests when it came to within the constitutional bounds. Not that we don't follow the Constitution, but that somehow we, at the last stretch, finally intervened only after we were attacked is nonsense. There go Pat Buchanan. Gee, the great interventionist neocon. That's what he says about our history.
Which Jefferson said was peace, commerce, and honest friendship with all nations, entangling alliances with none.
Really? So I wonder if you've ever read a book called Jefferson's War. I have a funny feeling I'm going to have to repeat this throughout all these Iraq veterans or old veterans for Ron Paul. I'm going to have to repeat the same thing over and over and over and over again. Why don't you read a book called Jefferson's War, the first Islamic war that we've had against the Middle East? Why don't you do that?
Only one Republican presidential candidate understands.
And here's the part where it's the selling point. Now, I don't mean to yell at you. It's just that you're proposing a very stupid position. And I respect your uniform, but your position is actually absolutely ridiculous. But if you notice the propaganda line, or the selling point, somebody somewhere told the Ron Paul crowd that you have to add the words, the only. You go through any of the videos, and it's always, the only candidate who? Do you not know how to speak for yourself? The only!
Stands this foreign policy, and that's Congressman Ron Paul.
Well, nobody wants to change the foreign policy.
Congressman Paul has obtained more contributions from active duty servicemen and women than all the other presidential candidates, including...
Yes, he's received more military contributions. That's correct. So you finally corrected that, because the Ron Paul crowd was saying for a very long time that he received the most support. And as you know, as you see from your correction, that's actually not true. You cannot expect the military that between 2001 and 2011 has put their lives on the line to suddenly go, you know what, I'm tired. I've given up so much. I don't want to take it anymore. I don't want to see this through. I don't want victory. I don't want to actually win the war. It's too much. Let's just go home. It's very difficult to believe that, and that is why the Veterans for Ron Paul have tried to change that story.
Big President Obama combined. Now this says a lot about our foreign policy.
No, it just says that they give more money. That's what it says. It says that they're more politically active, as you can see from the surveys, and as you can see from the video on my channel titled Military Support for Ron Paul.
Our servicemen and women are on the front lines. They understand the effects and consequences of our foreign policy better than any think tank in Washington.
I guess I don't count in this veterans who understand Ron Paul's foreign policy. I guess I don't matter.
DC. Please support Congressman Ron Paul on his...
Absolutely not, under no circumstances, zero chance in hell, and I may not even vote for him if he becomes the nominee. Why? Because his supporters promised not to support the Republican nominee against Obama. To them, it's Obama or Paul, and they would vote for Obama or use Ron Paul as a write-in or Gary Johnson. So basically, as a constituency, you're useless. You're absolutely useless. Now, I'm not telling you to vote against your conscience, and you're doing the right thing by having the primary battle and supporting your candidate. That is understood. What is not understandable is if there's a Republican nominee against Obama, and all of them are better than Obama. You could compare Romney's bad, flip-flopping from here till tomorrow. He's not Obama. I don't care. He's not him. But your crowd has decided, the Ron Paul supporters have decided that it's either Obama or Paul and nobody else. And frankly, if they do that during the... if that's what they're promising, I will not support Ron Paul if he gets the nomination at all. At all. Ever. I have other problems with him which will probably make me never vote for him anyway.
Goal of becoming the next president of the United States. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike McCarthy. You've been very calm, very kind, and tried to be very intellectual, while I've been a ranting, raving soldier of truth. Although I hate to use the word soldier, but yes. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And now, to go back in and edit in all the things that I need to edit. Thank you.